There's this saying going around that a top-tier man is just an average woman. But what does it mean? Well, let's listen to the espousers of this phrase and then break it down for our own comprehension. Buckle up! Today we are going to launch ourselves into these TikToks.
The way that an extraordinary man is literally just an average woman. Oh wow, he cooks, he cleans, he communicates, he's emotionally intelligent, has a job, is reliable, amazing, best man you've ever heard of in your life, right? Name one woman you know who's not all of those things. It's because we are.
I'm a father and a husband, and this is completely true. And for all the men in the comment section that were heated or giving hate to this content creator, let's be real, this is true. We do just average things and we get all the praise. For example, when I take my kiddos to the grocery store, which now we use Walmart delivery, but in the past when I would take them to the grocery store, the amount of comments that I would get about how incredible of a dad that I am. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just taking them to the grocery store. Whereas my wife does the exact same thing, 0 positive comments. If anything, she'll be judged for what she's buying them or what she didn't bring with them to play with. Another example, when my kiddos are babies, if I go and change their diaper, it would be like I just cured cancer. Literally so much praise for changing my own kid's diaper. Whereas if my wife does it, she'll get judged based on what diaper she's using, what wipes she's using, etc, etc, etc. The double standard is absolutely insane. And all this does is prove to me that there is such a low standard for men today. This woman's video is so true, and I have seen it time and time again in my life as a father and as a husband. It's not okay. It's a ridiculous double standard, and it should go both ways. There are some incredible creators on this app that calls out things like this. One incredible creator would be She Is Paige Turner. I'll put her link right here. You guys should definitely follow her. Not just the women, men, you guys should follow her as well. An extraordinary man is just an average woman. Truth.
Okay, so while this guy does look like a total white knight simp, he does make some good, fair points. In order to avoid a life of delusion, you have to accept that he is actually speaking facts, though. It is seen as neutral and as the norm and as the standard for women to take care of their kids, which explains the reaction that people have when women are taking care of their kids. Since they see women taking care of their kids as baseline, the only thing left to do is nitpick what isn't perfect. At least in the commenters' eyes, with their experience, whatever. This is true of basically anything that people are expected to do. However, when people are doing things that are unexpected for them, people are much more charitable. For instance, when that YouTuber Jaume NYC goes out and learns new languages, people are much more kind to him than they are of somebody of their own race or of their own culture, of their own nationality, not being able to speak the language and starting to learn quite late in life. Oh, you should have learned already. You should have known this already. So when people are doing things that seem out of the ordinary for them, for whatever reason, be it race, nationality, gender, whatever, folks tend to praise that. So the problem here really is, as he said, that there's a big double standard here. And I think that for the kids' health, in the best interest of the children, the best thing to do would be to remove that double standard as much as possible. You know, kids deserve parents who are engaged and actively involved in their life. And we do need to revise the double standard. Instead of it being something that's rare and applauded, it's normal for men to take care of their kids. It's normal for parents to be parenting their kids. It shouldn't be something that's especially applauded, but it should be something that you look at and you say, nice. That's nice. I like to see that, you know? I'm glad Bethany has decided not to let her meth addiction take precedence over her kids, you know? That's nice. That sort of thing, you know? Not applauded, but baseline. That's nice to see. And plus, if we reverse this double standard, that actually might help men with gaining custody over their kids in divorce battles. If the general public sees men as being as capable of taking care of kids as women are, there's a big chance that people will see men as being capable of taking care of their kids in divorce hearings, in custody battles. The norm won't be that women automatically get the kids except in extreme circumstances. Let's move on to the next video.
Be real with me.
A top tier man is just an average woman.
Real, why?
A top tier man, what we think is like, oh, he can provide like emotional support. He is responsive, communicative. When an average man does this, we tend to like glorify and think like, oh, he's such a great guy because he does all of this. But like at the end of the day, your female friend can already do this. So what can this man provide for you that your friends cannot?
The bar is so low for dating. In the past like 40 years, we went from guys writing love letters to women courting men and doing anything to be in a relationship.
There's like no courting. Women have to do a lot. You see this in all European paintings where like men would like build literal courts, buildings and statues for like the women that they are yearning for.
A big part is the accessibility of women to men. Like porn, OnlyFans, and hookup culture. Because a lot of guys feel like they have those needs met, a lot of them feel like they don't need to work for a relationship.
And I also think that men probably feel a little bit more entitlement. They think that they can pull any girl. It's okay to have confidence, but if you think that you're really, really hot, I think that really changes your attitude and your interactions with women or with anyone. And I've seen like way too many like hot and capable, intelligent women with men who look like rats.
Thank you so much. What was your name?
I'm Tiffany.
Preston, nice to meet you.
She missed the mark a little here. I think that she's really just repeating statements that she's seen online and trying to make sense of it, which, you know, we all do that. Let's not lie here. Let's not be delusional. Let's be grounded in reality. We've all done that at some point or another. But I think she's missing what men actually do provide to women. And in a lot of cases, it is stability. And whether that's stability in consistent actions, whether that's stability in having a stocky structure, you know, being built, being physically stable, or whether that's having another person around who is stoic, not chaotic. You know, there's certainly several men who do not fit some of these criteria, but I can almost guarantee you that every man you meet fits at least one of these some of the time. I would even go so far as to say most of the time. Provided they're in good mental and physical health, a lot of the time men can provide more stability than women can. And that's just because that's the way that the societies before us have been built. Maybe that'll change. You know, maybe this will change in this generation, considering a lot of women are the ones who are bringing in a lot of the money. So maybe that will change this generation. But as far as I know, from whenever I first started paying attention to now, men can bring a lot of stability to a woman's life. And I think that if she's attracted to men, she should take some time and perhaps journal this, but take some time and think about what she actually likes about men. There's a lot of messaging about how women should not like men and how men are dusties and all that. And while that's not totally untrue, there are lots of men who are bums, and not just bums because it's out of their control, bums in ways that they absolutely can control. So if that's your area, if the area you live in is full of bums, I don't blame you for taking a break from dating. However, if you are attracted to men, you know, there are lesbian women out there, but if you are attracted to men as a woman and you do eventually want to get with a man, whether that's to marry him, to date him, to have kids with him, whatever, you should take some time and figure out what it is that you like about men. What is it? You know, she did provide a good question here. What is it that men can provide you that your female friends cannot, that your family cannot, that your best friend cannot, that your male friends cannot, you know? What can a partner, a male partner, provide you that other people can't? That's a good thing to pay attention to. You know, because what you pay attention to as being a guy thing is different for you and your experiences. You know, I notice stability, other people might notice other things. But at the end of the day, we need each other as human beings. So take some time. Men do this too if you need to. Take some time and figure out what it is the opposite sex can provide you. Take some time and actually sit down and journal about this today. Not now, though. Wait until the video's done. We got one more video.
Does anybody else think it's weird that women can expect things from men, but men can't expect anything from women? Like, I seriously want you to stop and think about one thing that it's socially acceptable for a man to expect from a woman. Like, can you think of a tangible thing where if I got on here and I was like, hey, I think in a relationship that women should blah, 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 that wouldn't be problematic or red pill? Because from what I notice, it's like, it's okay if a woman expects men to pay for dates, but that man can't expect the woman to put out. It's okay if women expect men to pay all their rent, But if he expects her to cook and clean, he's a filthy misogynist. Women can expect a man to facilitate an environment in which they can become a stay-at-home mother. However, that man cannot expect her to become a stay-at-home mother. Like, do you see what I'm getting at here? Personally, I don't think anybody should expect anything from anybody. However, the hypocrisy is crazy to me. And the lack of acknowledgement in the hypocrisy just confuses me. It's like we have certain demographics here who are listing their expectations, but not being willing to deliver anything whatsoever. And I legitimately mean not deliver anything. Like, again, don't ask them what they bring to the table. But on the other hand, I see men where they're like, okay, you know, if I'm going to pay for these things, then I'm going to need da 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 da. And they get canceled for stuff like that. Like, do you see how that doesn't make sense? Now, look, okay, you may not believe it, but I genuinely hate to say a group that I'm not a part of is wrong, because then it's like, oh, you're not empathizing, da 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 da. But like, it's objectively wrong. Like, you see what I mean? Like, the take literally being, hey, I deserve everything, but I should give nothing. Like, what are we doing here?
Okay, so I think I can understand his frustration here. However, this is the internet. You cannot say anything. You cannot come here on the internet saying anything and expect people to all accept what you have to say and be all hunky-dory about it. Now, yes, I do understand that there's a difference. I do see what he's talking about. There are a lot of women who do make lots of demands of men without saying what they will provide in turn. However, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be so real, and I don't think the comments will like me on this one, if I even get any. But on a real note, I think a lot of the women who say things like this are willing to do whatever the man wants if he can provide. If he's a provider, she will do whatever he wants. It's not like a general thing. The woman can state her desires because she knows what she wants, and she knows what she's capable of, I assume. However, she doesn't know what the man in question wants because as of right now, he's just a hypothetical. So what I'm saying here is there is a chance that these women do bring a lot to the table. They just don't know how to advertise it yet because they don't know what the man wants. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I will also say that some of the demands that these women are making are crazy. At the same time, though, I do recognize as a woman that these women aren't being totally serious. I mean, some of them are, and some of those women are totally delusional, but for the most part, if you look at these women, observe these women who have all these high standards, all these high demands, and then you look at who they date, you'll see that something ain't adding up here. I've known these women. I've known women like this. I mean, I've gone to school with them. I've been friendly with them. I've been acquainted with them. I've been friends with some of them. They are not honest about their standards. Their standards are something to try to scare off the bad men. But the problem is these women are already bad men magnets. So try as they might to scare them off with their big bad standards, the only thing that they're doing is scaring off the men who probably would have been able to provide for them as much as they need, and getting the bad men who know that these standards aren't serious to act like they can be these grand things and then love bomb them, get what they want, and dip. What these women are doing is essentially what job postings are doing. They ask for applicants with all of these accolades, with all of these awards, with all of these accomplishments. Meanwhile, they accepted Joe Schmo from down the street just last week. Joe Schmo got 2 years of handiwork. That's it. No degree, nothing. So they're trying to scare off bad applicants by having these massive lists of requirements. But the thing is, the only thing that does is incentivize people who either are hella tryhards, which is, by the way, exceedingly rare and delusional to expect, or people who don't care and will lie to get what they want and underdeliver in the end. But that's all I have to say on this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Please leave a dislike if you disliked the video. Please subscribe if you want to, and please don't if you don't. And finally, please, pretty please, leave a comment with your thoughts down below. Even if you hated it, especially if you hated it. I will see you in the next video. Bye!